Hello, everyone, and welcome to shelf number 2 out of 500. I don't think it's quite that many, but I do have quite a few to get through. So we're going to get started here. And as you can see, this is my Wrath of Khan. Basically, this is my Wrath of Khan TOS Bridge Crew shelf. So we're going to go over each item, and then we're going to give them a clean, and then we'll go from there. So let's start off the same way we started off the last time. This is a Klingon dagger. It is not a licensed Klingon dagger. It's somebody's approximation, a very good approximation of a Dachtag, which is a Klingon dagger. And as you can see, you flip the little switch, the little extra knives that serve no purpose come out. And then you flip it and they come back in. It's a really fun piece. One of the two pieces that I've actually gotten from a place called Starbase Columbus that unfortunately no longer has a physical store. The store used to be two parts. It used to be all of the props and toys. And then on the other side, they had costumes and swords and more deadly props, just like that one. And they also had this. This is a part of a costume piece for a Bajoran earring. As you can see, it's got an ear cuff, and then it's got for the top of the ear, and then it's got the bottom piece here that's actually a clip-on. I've worn this several times, basically for no reason. I don't have a Bajoran outfit to wear, but it's surprisingly comfortable. I kind of like the ear cuff. I don't have a pierced ear, so it's actually really kind of nice to just wear. It's very comfortable. So coming up next, here is the Hot Wheels version of the Enterprise NCC 1701, the refit. Very accurate representation. This is from the Wrath of Khan. Strangely enough, though, this is pre-opening her up like a tin can by the Reliant. So, but we can't say the same for the Reliant. On the other side here, the Hot Wheels version, pretty well battle damaged. This is obviously before the torpedo takes off the nacelle there. Heavily battle damaged Reliant here, but also a well sculpted representation of the Miranda class. It's one of my favorites. Coming up now is one of two miniature Type 3 phasers that just came out. Factory Entertainment, along with CBS Studios, of course, about 2 years ago, put this out. This Type 3 TOS phaser and a Type 3 phaser rifle from the Next Generation. It's very... I mean, for as small as it is, it's all metal. The smaller, thinner parts are plastic, but it is an all metal body. The shovel handle there, famously. This is a very hastily put together prop that I believe the original prop sold at Julian's for over $190,000. As you can see here, there are 3 barrels. They're supposed to twist around to select different settings. I don't know what settings a phaser rifle would have because, I mean, basically they're just point, shoot, and kill, just like a Klingon disruptor. The phaser rifle was used only in one episode, and it was Where No Man Has Gone Before. Type 2 phasers were mainly used. Those are the hand phasers that look like guns, but this Type 3 phaser rifle only used once, designed to be used more often, but there was just no applications for it. So here in my collection is the ill-fated USS Grissom, the Oberth class that was shown in Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. And the Klingons basically fired a torpedo and destroyed it. Not built for fighting, just built for field work. It was just a science vessel. Weirdly designed, very polarizing to some people. I think it's great. It's a weird, the secondary hull versus the primary hull. I'm kind of showing off where the phasers might be. I don't think it fired a single shot or a torpedo ever. The Miranda class is basically the workhorse of the Star Trek universe. And then here is an example of the Enterprise. It's just supposed to be the regular Enterprise.
No bloody A, B, C, or D.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the Enterprise. Eaglemoss was so just all over the place. Some of the things that they did were incredibly accurate, very detailed. Here, I'm going to show what is called Aztecing. As you can kind of see on the Oberth class here, there is little grayer spots over top of the gray on the hull. That's to represent hull plating. So a lot of these ships have Aztecing, and for some reason, this Constitution refit, no Aztecing anywhere. There's no Aztecing on the nacelle pylon, whereas here in this Oberth class, there's Aztecing all over the place where it should be. But for some reason, the Constitution refit here, no Aztecing. Very hit and miss with Eaglemoss. But here, I will show you one of the best XLs that they did. The ones that I've been showing you are regular size. This is what's called an XL. And this is, of course, the Orville. The Orville is just a fun show. I love this show. I don't really like Seth MacFarlane that much. Sometimes his humor is a little too much, but that show, it is just like a love letter to Star Trek. And they're not held back by rules set in the 1960s. They're very gung-ho. I think, they have a morality, but it's like not, I don't know. It just seems less held back by old school rules. And it's just a fun show. Here's the space dock. The detail on this figure, this model here is just beautiful. You can see the space doors, all of the antenna. You can see the beautiful blue underneath, the observation decks, the windows. The Aztecing. It is just a big, solid, beautiful piece of die-cast metal and plastic. And the stand is really cool because it floats. You basically put it on there, you put it at a certain angle, and the stand's gone. It just looks like it's floating in space. And then here's the other one that they did. This is Space Lab Regula 1 from The Wrath of Khan. Once again, an intricately designed model. But what's really funny is, in The Next Generation, this is how they showed it as a space station, just so they could reuse the model. So yeah, Space Lab Regula 1 was used a lot in TNG, and I even think DS9, but they really didn't do much in the Alpha Quadrant, I don't think. But TNG, if you saw a space station, sometimes it would be upside down just like this, and it's just Space Lab Regula 1 on its top. But yeah, this is also fantastic because, again, it sits right there and it just hovers and it just looks like it's in space. Nothing's holding it up. It's just an absolutely wonderful idea. They were just so hit and miss, Eaglemoss was. Here's the communicator from The Wrath of Khan. And I'm kind of showing these side by side because I just think it's so weird how they went from this elegant moire spinning gold plated prop that is a communicator, and now suddenly it's this switches and weird buttons and stuff like that. I'm going to show you some of the sounds here. I did keep a battery in there, and I have so many electronic devices. I'm not making excuses. I should have taken all of them out at the same time, but unfortunately I did leave one in there a long time ago and have since taken it out and have since tried to fix it. I don't know if this is going to fire up or not, but we're going to give it a try. But yeah, I totally messed up, and that's why I try my best to not do that anymore. Yay! Look at there. It worked. So it does make some nice sounds. This is from Diamond Select too, by the way. So I think you can... Oh, yeah, right. So, yeah, isn't that great? I guess if you're into that, it's pretty great. So I think you can hold it. And shut it, maybe? And then it'll call you. I forget. One of these settings does that. Yeah. There we go.
Admiral, this is Spock. Spock, engine room reports auxiliary power restored. We can proceed at impulse power. Fast speed, regular one, Kirk.
So, that's pretty cool. I like this prop. I mean, it's really weird that they went from... Oh, he's calling again.
Kirk, Spock, it's 2 hours. Are you ready? Right on schedule, Admiral. Just give us your coordinates and we'll beam you aboard.
All right. Okay, so... I don't know why they went from this to this. I really don't. Uh-oh, he's calling again. Hang on.
Admiral, this is Spock. Spock, engine room reports auxiliary power.
I think we can turn that off now. Yeah, okay. But that's a fun feature. I mean, it's just very utilitarian. I mean, look at that. I mean, switches and stuff. And at one point we had this spinning moire wheel and buttons that flashed, and it just looks so elegant. It's just weird. It just seems like a regression, and I don't know why. But it's cool, and I like it, and I'm glad the batteries work. Phew, that was a scary time. I turned it on, and it was like, nope. So I used the back end of the screwdriver to scrape it off as best I could. And it seems to work now, so yay! We'll touch on this communicator just for a little bit. It's actually a kind of special. It's not just a normal communicator. It actually, back when it functioned properly, it had a watch inside of it. And then you went just a little bit deeper, and it had a calculator in it. How cool is that? Just one of the many things that CBS and Paramount put out for these things. Oh, and you could hold that button down, and you could record 5 seconds a voice in it and then play it back. It was actually a super cool little multi-featured toy that I was using basically as my go-to prop when I would go out and cosplay. Unfortunately, it's dead in the water. Still has some really good flipping action though. It was really great. But yeah, unfortunately, I left a battery in there, which I seem to be prone to do, even though as much as I hate it. And it kind of ate the battery compartment. So plus the watch stopped working, and you know, it's just aged. So we're going to move on to each of the figures that have been looming in the back. I'm very excited for this. They're great figures. The caricatures are really funny. Of course, this is Admiral Kirk and all of his Starfleet gear. Here's the back of the box. As you can see, there's a Series 1. There's a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive set. And then there's a Series 2. And luckily for me, I got all of them. But for right now, we're going to hit the original bridge crew of the TOS as they are in The Wrath of Khan. And as you can see, here's Kirk and his Cro-Magnon-sized forehead. It's a very interesting take on this character. but the Monster Maroon looks great. The communicator and the phaser look amazing. He's got 2 extra hands in there to hold them. It's a really great figure, and I'm going to repeat that a lot. All of these are really great figures. These are, of course, for the 25th anniversary of The Wrath of Khan from back in 2007. So these have been around for quite a while. They haven't had a 20th birthday yet, but they're getting pretty close. So as you can see, there's Spock. He's got his Vulcan salute right next to his hand phaser. He's got A Tale of Two Cities. That's the best of times. It was the worst of times that he was going to give to that he gave to Kirk actually at the beginning of the movie. So he's got a lot of bits and pieces in there. They call it Starfleet gear. They really don't tell you what's in there, but you can kind of tell. Very good likeness of Leonard Nimoy, I have to say. The sculpts on these, all of these, are pretty fantastic, and I'll repeat that often. Here is Dr. McCoy, Mr. DeForest Kelley himself. Again, his uniform just looks fantastic. The yellowing is weird because I don't know why it's yellowing. I really don't. I've not had any of these in sunlight, but for some reason they have yellowed. That's just what this plastic has done over the years. Dr. McCoy here was actually the first one that I got in this series. As you can see, I'm kind of showing off the Romulan ale bottle and his hypo spray right there. So, but yeah, I mean, it's an incredible likeness of DeForest Kelley. The green is very accurate, and so is the monster maroon. Now we're going to move on to target that explosion and fire. Oh my. Sulu, George Takei. Really nice likeness. I think his eyes are a little farther apart than they probably should be if I were to have a gripe. Maybe his chin is a little bit larger than it may need to be, but screen accurate Starfleet gear, 2 additional hands. He's a great figure. The insignias on his uniform, the monster maroon and his insignias, they just look fantastic, don't they? I mean, they're just so well detailed and very tiny. I really like them. And then here's Montgomery Scott. Captain, those aren't dilithium crystals. They're Folgers crystals, and they're decaffeinating. Scotty looks really great here. He's got his great silver mustache. His hair is great. The uniform, again, I mean, all the uniforms are basically the same. I don't think there's much of a difference in any of these sculpts. Until we get to Uhura, of course. Nichelle Nichols. The iconic role of Uhura, played so well in The Wrath of Khan. I think she really comes into her own in the third one, because she holds that one kid at phaser point, and her speech is just so great. That's one of my favorite scenes. And then here's old sourpuss himself, Walter Koenig, Commander Pavel Chekhov, very well represented here. The sculpt is excellent. His Prince Valiant hair is combed perfectly. Some of these are from the San Diego Comic-Con, like I had said. So some of these are Series 1, Series 2, and then there were 4 that were in San Diego Comic-Con exclusively. Dr. McCoy was one of them, Scotty was one of them, and Sulu was one of them as well. So, but yeah, here's Chekhov. Looking pretty good. You could kind of see there for a second, he had his SETI Alpha Eel and his wristband communicator as accessories. All right, that's the end of the look at shelf. All right, that's the end of shelf number 2. Let's get to Dustin. Cue the montage music.